Let's start a new project in the Elm Hill City Zoo. This new building is called the Goodwin Center and will be housing 4 different African species. And today we are adding the first animal to this building, the African spurred tortoise. So let's build an outdoor and indoor enclosure for it. I really hope you guys will enjoy today's episode. Hello guys, this is Cesar Creates and welcome back to my channel. And welcome back to the Elm Hill City Zoo. We are finally back in my favorite project. After a short 1-month break, a lot of things have happened during this time. That's why the zoo was a bit absent from my channel, but we are finally back with something very special this time because we are starting a new project in the zoo that will be a new building for 4 different African species that we'll add in here. It is of course located in the African section of our park and I have a pretty nice idea for it, so I am very excited for this project because I think that it can look pretty nice when we'll be done with it. So today we'll start the construction of this new building. We'll build a front facade for it and also add the first animal to it. We'll build an indoor and outdoor enclosure for the African spurred tortoise from the Zookeepers animal pack. I have already mentioned that I want to build something like this after the Zookeepers animal pack was released. This is simply because I had this idea how to incorporate the new African animals to the zoo, being the African spurred tortoise, the African leopard and the dik-dik, so those 3 will definitely find their spot in this building. But after I started to build this, I actually decided that I will add a 4th animal, and maybe I will keep that a secret for now, but this will be an animal that we already have in the zoo and I will be moving it from some other part to this building, so I am also very excited for that, simply to give this animal a better conditions because I really like this species. I decided to give this building a name and it will be called the Goodwin Center. Just as you have just seen, I already added the name of the building on the front facade using the amazing font by the Wyatt Andrews workshop that is on the workshop, on the Steam workshop, and you can download it from it. So I will definitely put the link down in the description if you would like to use it in your own projects as well. And why this name? Just because there's a lot of rumors and speculations that the Zookeepers animal pack might be the last pack for Planet Zoo. And if that would be a case, I just wanted to pay a little tribute to Planet Zoo as a whole, as a game, because I love it so much. And if you guys have played the career scenarios in Planet Zoo, you know that the main character of the whole career scenario of Planet Zoo is called Bernie Goodwin. So I wanted to use his last name for this building. He clearly loves animals, he cares about them, he goes for those expeditions, so I think that calling it after someone who has contributed to developing so many zoos in the career scenario to completely make sense. So yeah, this is the Goodwin Center. I kind of struggled if I should use the American or the British like spelling of the word center. And I sort of decided to go for the American one, I don't know why. But yeah, this is the first episode of the mini-series on the Goodwin Center. Today we are adding the African spurred tortoise, more about the tortoise in a second. And after this habitat today, we'll still add 3 more animals and each of them will have their outdoor and the indoor enclosure, just as we have done so many times already. This is basically because we are building in the temperate biome and African animals like their heat. They don't like the winter, probably. Like, some of them can survive in the winter and colder temperatures, but in here we will definitely have some snow or just, you know, colder temperatures in the winter. That's why they should have those indoor enclosures where they can still chill and be like seen by the guests, even though they don't have the access to the outdoor part of their enclosures. So the indoors will also be very decorated, detailed, so it still looks nice and resembles the natural habitat of the animals that will be living in it. So yeah, I cannot wait to build this all, and this is something that we will focus on in the next episodes of the Elm Hill City Zoo. I know that we have some unfinished projects, but I promise that we will go back to them. I still need to finish the petting zoo, of course. We recently started the Mountains of Asia or Highlands of Asia. I already forgot how I decided to call it, with building for the Markhor. So there's plenty of animals that I still want to add in here, and some like individual ones in the zoo. And of course, there's so many different sections that I have planned for the zoo still. And this actually brings me to the fact that we actually celebrated the 4th anniversary of the Elm Hill City Zoo last week, which is totally like insane. I cannot believe that this series is still going and is still going strong, that you guys still enjoy it, that you are still tuning into all those episodes. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I started my channel 4 years ago with the first episode of the Elm Hill City Zoo, and it has become like my most successful thing here on YouTube, that I am most proud of and most known for, probably. So thank you so much for that. This really means the world that you guys are still watching this series. And also thank you so much for 40,000 subscribers. I was able to reach this milestone not long ago, so I still haven't got the chance to thank you in any of the Planet Zoo videos. So thank you so much for that. It really like blows my mind when I see this number next to my name. I actually didn't think that it would be possible to achieve this year, and actually there's like only 400 of you left till 41,000. So if you guys by any chance would like to help me get to there before the year ends, and you are still not subscribed to my channel, please consider to do so. This would be so amazing. To add one more 1,000 to my number there, this is so incredible. Thank you guys so much. Some of you might have already recognized what this building is actually inspired by. I was lucky enough to visit quite a few zoos in 2024, and one of those zoos was Prague Zoo, and in there I saw this incredible building with some amazing animals called the Darwin Crater. And in Prague there are animals from Oceania living in there. So you have the Tasmanian devils, wombats, echidnas, there are kangaroos and wallabies just next to it. But of course we have all of those already in the zoo, like obviously without the echidnas because we don't have them still. I really hope that they will be added one day, because as we all know, Planet Zoo is not done yet with the development of this game. I mean, there's for sure one more DLC coming, so I'm really counting for echidnas, but of course we will see. But yeah, I really liked this building during my visit, and I decided to use it for something else. So I am using it in my African section of the zoo for some African species. It is very modern, and as I told you guys so many times already, the Elm Hill City Zoo is sort of like a very old zoo that has those like modernized parts, that has both the older architecture and the very modern one, and this is definitely something that was built recently. The building itself has a very simple shape. This is not anything too crazy. It is again very modern, very minimalistic, but I like it because thanks to that the habitats are actually something that play the main role. So the building kind of doesn't take away from the habitats, and this will play the biggest part when we'll actually add the next two animals that you are about to see, because there will be even more blended with this building and so on. If you have been to Prague Zoo, you probably know what I'm talking about. We'll be sort of like recreating or being very inspired by the enclosures for the wombats and the Tasmanian devils from the zoo, but I will definitely be using them for some other animals that I will be adding, of course, from Africa. But let's finally talk about our tortoises that we are adding to the Elm Hill City Zoo today. So to me, the African spurred tortoise was a very pleasant surprise when it comes to the Zookeepers animal pack. I didn't expect Frontier to add another tortoise species to Planet Zoo. We already had two. two of the biggest ones that are on our planet. Yeah, they sort of surprised me. I really wanted another tortoise, so I am very happy that they actually did that. Especially if we are building reptile houses, this is such a cool addition because finally there's a tortoise that is a bit smaller but still big, of course. But then we have also the Herman's tortoise, so you can now showcase 4 different kinds of them in your zoos if you want to. Another tortoise that I would love to see in the game is the radiated tortoise. To me, this is the most beautiful species on our planet. It is so beautiful. The shell of this tortoise is out of this world. It also lives on Madagascar, so it would look so cool with the lemurs and stuff. But yeah, I don't think that we'll be adding another one. But what I think would be amazing is that if they could add a habitat turtle, like for example the alligator snapping turtle, that the one that basically is swimming in the water. That would be amazing. But yeah, I can only wish. And we have a habitat that we have to talk about, so let's focus on this right now. So the original building from Prague doesn't have an outdoor habitat in the place where I added it. Initially, I wanted to add the tortoises in the place where the wombats are in Prague, but after I decided to add the 4th animal in there, I decided to build this habitat in this place, and I am very glad that I did, because this habitat has a perfect size. If I would be to add it in my initial place where I wanted it, it will be much bigger. So this, I think, is just perfect, and thanks to that, the entrance, like little plaza to this building, is not so like boring. Simply, it has something interesting in it. Yeah, I'm very happy that I came up with this idea. The real life habitats for the African spurred tortoise are very boring, nothing interesting, I must say, like most of them. I went through some of my pictures that I took of them in the zoos. I also, of course, tried to find something online, but in the end, I decided to go with something that I came up with, and this is something that you can see on the screen, basically. So when it comes to the habitat, firstly, I created a barrier, the outside barrier, that was taken from Prague as well, but then I created something that I actually didn't come up with. This is a rock wall using the Mpingo trees and their barks, and I took it from a very talented creator that uploaded them into the workshop. Now, I hope that I am pronouncing this in the right way, but he's called the Akhenaten Gaming, if I am correct. I totally was inspired by it. I decided to create my own version of the similar wall that he uploaded to the workshop. So I will definitely put the link down in the description. So if you want to check them out, I definitely need to give credit to this person, because I think that he came up with this idea, and I'm just replicating that because I just totally love it. As you guys know, I love using the rock walls in my habitats, but recently I've been only using the stalagmites for that, sometimes mixing them with like normal rocks from the game, but right now I thought it would be cool to use actually something else for some variation, some different idea. I went for the Mpingo trees, and I really like how it has turned out. My main problem with building this habitat was something that I struggle a lot with, the traversable area of the animals in Planet Zoo. So unfortunately for the African spurred tortoise, it is not the best, just as with the Galapagos tortoise and the Aldabra tortoise, it is totally the same. So for example, I couldn't add the decals to this habitat on the floor because they couldn't like walk on them. I know that I actually added them in the speed build, but I had to delete them. I also couldn't make the habitat simply as detailed as I wanted, and unfortunately, I really don't like it when I'm doing stuff like that, but I had to cheat a bit. So the entrance from the indoor to the outdoor habitat is unfortunately unusable for the animals, because it is simply too small for them, although it doesn't look like it. It looks like fine, it's large, but unfortunately in Planet Zoo they just cannot use it, and I didn't didn't want to give them a huge hole in this wall because I just thought that it would look weird. So in there we will have to imagine that they will be able to freely move from outdoor to indoor, but yeah, I had to move them manually to do so. But I hope you guys will be able to forgive me, because this time I totally went for the looks over the actual functionality of the habitat. So, but in the end I really like how it has turned out. I cannot wait to see this building a bit more finished, especially inside, because basically what I also like about Prague Zoo and this building was that the big contrast between the actual building and the habitats. So the building inside is pretty like dark, it has dark walls, and the habitats are those focal points, so they are bright, there's a lot of light, there is a lot of natural parts like plants and so on, different like rock formations, of course, different like dead trees, and this creates like this really nice contrast between those very dark walls. So this is something that I also want to create, and also to achieve that in Prague they have those skylights over each and every indoor habitat, so the only lights comes into this building through those indoor habitats, and this just enhances this effect of you know, the habitats being those focal points. So I also did something like that, and I used actually this mesh for the butterfly exhibits to do the skylines, because I just had this idea. I don't use this mesh too much, so I decided why not, let's use it in here. Thanks to that, the light is a bit more dimmed, I think, not so like bright, and I really like this effect. You also could see me use something that I created so long ago, the little like tunnel or cave that I created for the prairie dogs, that they could actually go through this little tunnel, or they could climb on them, so that was really fun. But in here I wanted to use it as the entrance for the animals into the outdoor part of the enclosure, and I think that it looks really nice in there. So yeah, I'm very happy whenever I can reuse the things that I already created for the zoo, and they look so nice and blend in just as they were created for this habitat, like perfectly. Okay, so the speed build part of this video is almost over, and I will meet you guys in a second for the cinematic shots, where I will show you the habitat from all the sides, both the indoor and the outdoor enclosure. We'll have a look at our beautiful tortoises, and also I will show you where the building is actually located in the zoo, because I forgot to tell you this before, and they are starting right now. The model of the African spurred tortoise is really one of the best when it comes to the whole planet zoo. I just really love it so much. It looks almost real. Frontier did an amazing job while creating this animal. I know that some people are not too excited for it being added to the game, but I must say that I really enjoyed this addition. We have a new building in the Elm Hill City Zoo, the Goodwin Center, and this is how the front facade of this building looks. Just as I told you guys, it is very modern, but we are still using wood in there, so I think that it really matches the zoo and the habitats that we will be adding in there. I really don't like when the zoos are overusing the concrete and try to make the new building look very like ultra modern, because the enclosures for the animals sometimes suffer from it. I mean, I prefer the natural look of the enclosures than them being just, you know, just squeezed into this beautiful concrete architecture. I also created a planter that has a place to seat for the guests like all around, and in the middle of this planter I decided to use the statue of the African spurred tortoise that we actually have in the game, that was a part of the Zookeepers animal pack, and I also wanted to use the burrow to show that those animals are actually using the burrows in their natural environment. Here's also the look on the indoor enclosure. I still wanted to make it look very natural. There's a lot of different plants and of course some rock formations. I also wanted to add the most light that I can in there, so we have the skylight, but there's also some lights in there, and of course we have a heat lamp for those guys. If they want to just bask in the light, they can definitely do it in their habitat. And here you can see where the building is actually located. It is just opposite the habitats for the Dama gazelle and the scimitar horned oryx, and on the right hand side we have the African elephants, and behind that building we also have the Egyptian fruit bats. So yeah, a lot of African animals in this area. We will definitely add more. But yeah, this is all that I have for you guys in today's episodes. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, definitely subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video like this. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and of course tell me what you think about the habitat and the new building in the comment section down below. And if you like to support the channel a little bit extra and become a sponsor of one of the habitats in the Elm Hill City Zoo, maybe this one or the entire Goodwin Center, you can do it by becoming a member on my channel with the join button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!